for the rest of the life, for the rest of the life on this planet. Salawat. So, I think there was this was in Urdu, and Allama Iqbal, who's a great poet laureate, he has summed it up in Farsi. Some of the people, like my brother Hassan Shari and some other people from Iran and Afghanistan, they are more well versed with Persian. I will translate it very, very simple words. He says what I have been saying. All that is summed up in one verse, in 2 lines. And he says, Chu Teghe La, the sword of law. Teghe La chu az miyan birun kashid. When Imam Hussain alayhi salatu salam took out the sword of law, no, absolute no to Yazid ibn Muawiyah. So no to the oppressor. Chu teghe la chu az miyan birun kashid az rage arbawe batil khun kashid. So then what he did, by doing this, they're saying absolute no to Yazid ibn Muawiyah, and he took the sword out of the sheath, and then what happened? Actually, he was able to suck all the blood from the veins of those who claim to be gods. This is the exact literal translation of what I have said. This is the work of Imam Hussain. Yeah, this is... Let me also explain, there are a lot of people sitting here, they should know the word arbab. You might have heard, some of you who have worked in the Gulf states, you might know that if you want to go work there, either you find a kafil or a arbab who writes, guarantees you, and you become like he shares your wealth, whatever you make, a certain percentage of commission, you have to give it to him because he is your arbab. Same thing. This is happening even as of today, brother, that these people call themselves arbab. Arbab is the plural of Rabb. Rabb is the sustainer, the one who gives life. So when they give you a chance to work for your earning, and they give you a chance to get some money, they call themselves arbab. This is, to my astonishment, the word is still there. A lot of Muslims don't. Those Muslims who don't believe that anybody other than Rabbul Alameen can be Rabb for humans. But these people are called also arbab. So arbab is actually the plural of Rabb in Arabic. And it means that it has to be more than 3 to qualify for this. Brother Tasneem Hamadi and Haja Asima, I'm right. It's not tasniya. Tasniya would be like in the ayah of Quran, Rabbirhamhuma kama rabbayani. That is tasniya. 2 Rabb. Allah Ta'ala also recognizes there are 2 who will give you nourishment, who will treat you well, who will train you and groom you, and they are your parents. So remember them and always say, oh my Lord, have mercy on them. Kama rabbayani saghira. The way they raised me, and they were my Rabb when I was very small. I was not able to do anything. So after, like Hazrat Luqman in his advice to his son also says the same thing. Oh my son, remember, Allah does not want any associate, and He is beyond association, but He also wants to make sure that those who believe in Him have respect and complete ita'at of their parents. They should not leave them, forsake them, they should not be disrespectful at all, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you want to be a true mu'min, you have to thank me, because He is the Malik and Khaliq of everything. At the same time, I have created for you to live longer, to be raised, to be nourished, your parents. Their parents and the whole thing, I don't want to go, but at the same time, my youngsters are sitting there, that to the level, even if he has made mistakes, and everybody in this life makes mistakes, but it says, وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. you should never say in louder voice anything in front of them. وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. Even if you are sick of them, you become so much annoyed by them, but you should not utter the word uff. Uff, what are you doing? Oh my father, what are you doing? Oh my mother. No, you are not supposed to do this. This is Allah's command. This is not a small thing. And then that is why our Imam says that don't ever think that you will be only Aq. Aq is the person who has been abandoned by faith. The parents have said that he is or she is not my son or daughter, and he is disobedient and he is out of my fold, my family. So if that happens, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, right at the time, you don't even think that they have to make this statement. Even if they don't make this statement and you have been disobedient, Allah says, I'll count you as Aq. And Imam says, if you are counted as Aq, none of your prayers will be accepted. None. Absolutely none. So be very, very careful. This is a very, very difficult red line. You have to walk a very, even though you have differences, you might have, your youth might have ask for some different kind of actions or whatever. So brothers and sisters, we are talking about Islam. Islam is that deen that when you go to Karbala, now let us go to Karbala and find out then how Karbala is a complete bouquet of worship and rituals of ibadat, in the sense that Karbala, the more I read about Karbala, the more I find that all of us, if you are a woman, you are a man, you are black, you are white, if you are small, 1 year old, 6 months old, you are 10 years old, 8 years old, you are 13 years old, you are 16 years old, you are 32 years old, you are 28 years old, and you are 60 years old, you are 80 years old, you are 90 years old, any age which is possible, and any gender which you can think of. And if you want to apply Karbala to your own self, my dear sisters and my daughters and my sons and my brothers, you apply yourself and just say, I want to see where was I in Karbala? Where was that example which is particularly for me? You will find that example. If you have difficulty, I will help you. I have seen not a single one has ever been betrayed in this. They have all found the example. You find that example and see what role he or she played as a daughter, as a sister, as among the women, as a wife, as a small daughter, as a married daughter, non-married, all kind of people you will see. As mothers, they are superb examples they have presented in this the 10 days of Karbala. When you find them, then you can apply to yourself. You will not be deprived of your bounties. Just think about it. That is why Karbala is so important. No matter what age group you are, no matter where you stand, no matter what race you come from, no matter which religion you come from. You see the Christians participating, and those who were Christians before, but they were those who had the notion, and they had heard from their Christian leaders in the time of Prophet. And when they came to know that this is the 5th person of those 5 who were in Mubahila and whose special introduction was made by the Christian leader, that if I can see they are the embodiments of Noor, if they now want the Jabal, the mountains to move, they can make them move. They have that power. So I can see with my own eyes. This was a testimony, came from non-Muslim at that time. So even those kind of sacrifices. Then you have the slaves who didn't even have the full freedom to live a free life. But how free they became in Karbala? So they not only you and me and all of us are slaves of our desires to some extent, and some of us have made slaves our God actually. We are worshipping for those. So this is the time to get the light. The more light you get, more enlightenment you feel, more power you will get. And that power which is not to burn others. The fire not to burn others, but the noor which enlightens others, which presents an example. Look at the Karbala, how Karbala is giving those examples, you know. So one of my very good Ahl Sunnat friend, he made a very good analogy. He was speaking at one time, and he looked at my face and said, Maulana, I don't know whether you believe it or not, but I have seen the history. He said, when I saw Imam Hussain going on top of the back of, when in sujood was our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina, Masjid Nabawi, he is praying, and Hussain comes playing, and he starts climbing to the back of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He takes a ride, small child, obviously no more than 3-4 years. This is his history, and this is also mentioned in all Shia Sunni books, that Imam Hussain ﷺ. So he says, I have done the research, and I found out that it was the second time when Prophet had said, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la wa bihamdih. And Imam Hussain ﷺ climbed on the back and sat there, and Allah had ordered his Habib, his Prophet, his beloved Prophet, oh Habib, just keep saying this and don't disturb Hussain. Let him stay as long as he stays on your back. Brothers and sisters, this is the Hussein's introduction. This is that Hussain. And then this brother is saying that I counted and I heard from different riwayats, and I came to know that after that 70 times the Prophet said, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la wa bihamdih. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la wa bihamdih. And it was in Karbala. It was in Karbala when Hussain was paying this back. He was telling, maybe he was not telling with his own words in that way, but yes, there was a lesson coming. You gave this break for me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered, and you did it, O Prophet. For your religion, I will give 72 lives. The lives, example of which history will never find. So, brothers and sisters, so this is that significance of Karbala, if you see how important it is. And the message of Karbala to this day is that law, which is a continuation. There is no Rabb, no Arbab, no nothing. That is why Muinuddin Chishti alayhi rahmah, in his couplet, in his Rubai, in 4 stanzas, he says, in 4 lines, he says, Deen Shah hast Hussain, Badshah hast Hussain, Deen hast Hussain, Deen Panah hast Hussain. So, should I translate, or you all know everything? Okay. Shah hast Hussain. The real king is Hussain. Badshah hast Hussain. The one who will always remain king, that Badshah is Hussain. Deen hast Hussain. The religion or the faith is Hussain himself. Hussain is not only the walker on the path, he himself is the path. So look his example. Hussain is Deen. Deen Panah hast Hussain. And when this Deen will not find any protection, Hussain provided that protection forever to Deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sardado Nadaud Dast Dar Dast Yazid. He gave his head, but he never gave his hand to the hand of oppressor Yazid ibn Muawiyah. Sardado Nadad Dast Dar Dast Yazid. Haqqa, by God. Haqqa means by Haqq. The actual truth is saying it by oath. Haqqa ke bina ilah hast Hussain. So if you want to see the real foundation of la ilaha, that is Hussain. Some people sometimes, because small, narrow-minded people always come up with some disgusting objections. Oh, la ilaha means no Lord. It should have been, if the poet was right, it should be saying, La ilaha illallah. Somebody in Canada asked me this. I said, that person who was making this, he said, Fulan, Maulana, big alim, Ahl Sunnat, he said this is not even right to say that. I said, then he should also go and make the amendment in Quran, where Quran talks about a juzv and means the kul. So you have, when you say cut your hand, actually the hand is not being cut. It is only the fingers which are being cut. So there are many ways to understand. Everything when you do this, what it portrays is the internal prejudice, internal isbiyah against the Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salatu wasalam, which people come up with, and they always make these objections. We should be still ready to answer them bil ahsan, in the best way possible. That's why more and more people, I encountered a group of people in Atlanta a few years back when I was doing majalis of Muharram recitation, and on the night of the 9th, a group came to me and asked that we were in your majlis, you know why we came on this night, and we wanted to come before also, but we generally don't come, and we just heard about you and came this way, that you were talking about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Maula Ali and all those, and you also take the leaders, our leaders' names with respect as well. I said, this is how I have been commanded by Allah's Prophet and Ahlul Bayt to be respectful. So we cannot use the sub, and we cannot use that la'na without accountability, because we can do the la'na on those who were kazibin, who were zalimin, who were fasiqeen, who were people who usurped the power, so they of those who were on the path of haqq. But by and large, we are very careful, because our Imam has stopped us from doing this by name, doing the lana. So this is, and when you are there, I have a respect for you. You said, I wish I had known this, then I would have come to attend these majalis early. I said, why do you come on the 9th and not early? Because it says, on the 9th onward, 9th and 10th, I have experienced that you Shias don't have enough time to curse our Sahaba. You only talk about Imam Hassan and Hussein and Ahlul Bayt, and that is why we feel safe about it. So brothers and sisters, wherever my message is reaching from this Memphis center, Alrasool Islamic Center, I want to assure them, those who want to come, please come, and we will be very careful, and we will follow, trying to get rid of those reputations which are not correct. We will, inshallah, rectify all that, and we will do it together. We have been commanded, and we know for sure that being Shia of Ali, Shia of Ahlul Bayt, is very, very difficult task. As a group of people, you call me Shia, that's fine. But I always pray to Allah Almighty, Ya Allah, it's difficult to be Shia of Ali. It's not me saying it. The greatest of the Sahaba, like Huzaifa and Jabir ibn Abdullah and Ammar Yasir, Miqdad al-Aswad Kandi, Hazrat Salman Farsi, they all said it the same way. I am reporting from them that being Shia is not an easy thing. They all went to Ali and asked him, and he pointed only one Shia with all of this, and that was Salman Farsi. So that perfection was only meant for Salman, not for anybody. And who is Salman? Salman is the one whom Prophet ﷺ then testifies that Allah has created 10 levels of Iman, and Salman is on the 10th level of Iman. The highest of them is the 10th, and Salman is there. Abu Zar is even on the 9th, one level. So perfection is only there. So being Shia, difficult. By virtue of we are lucky. We are like a student who has not yet become doctor, but he just has passed the MCAT, and you start calling him a doctor. So maybe you will call all of us each other Shia, and because Tashri is following foot by foot, inch by inch. So being exactly a true follower is Shia. So what is the next level? The next level is to have, if you remember, the example of that Sahabi which I gave you yesterday, Nu'ayman, that is to have the love inside your heart. Shi'atuna, hadith ke saath, I am reminding you, wa muhibbina. When our Shia and those who are following us and those who have our love in their heart, when they get together and they raise their hands in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and pray, that Jibreel is guaranteeing that Allah has said that dua will be accepted. Brothers, when it comes to dua, the best of the dua for you is to save your iman, to save your faith. That is the most important thing you have to ask for. Lot of our ancestors and some people around us, when they are doing the azadari, what they do? They ask for, Ya Allah, for the sake of Hussein, we are doing this ziyarah, we are crying, give us this, give it. All material things are being asked. And those material things will not take you anywhere. Even though Allah is the sustainer and He gives all what you want, but you should show a little bit better of you. You should seek the taqarruf of Allah, taqarruf of Imam Hussein, the qurbah, to being the nearness of that perfect human being. Insan-e Kamil, Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Insan-e Kamil, Ali Murtaza alayhi salatu wasalam. Insan-e Kamil, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Today when you are sitting here and if something very unusual happens, some zameen and asman, the earth and the skies move suddenly in a different way. Iza zulzilatil arzu zilzalaha. If that kind of earthquake takes place, which changes the minds, wa akhrajatil arzu asqalaha, and then everything is changed, what will happen? You walk out of here and you see things have changed, and you also have a glad tiding that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I'm trying you to understand, is there, and you come to know that our Prophet has come. So you will be blissfully, you will be delightfully rushing, touching his feet, kissing his hands, and telling them, we are coming from the majlis of your son and grandson, Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. You will not be ashamed. Ashamed would be those whose actions went against the Imam. So, brothers, this is a great point of solace, a pride which comes to us, that it should be in our heart, that we are doing it by heart. Because it's not like force. It is the love, the light of the love which we have for Ahlul Bayt. That's why from the very beginning, this is the most important thing which you have to realize, that we have inculcated, the parents have done it. You have to do this here as well. It is a difficult task. Even in other traditional Muslim societies, things have gone so bad that perhaps mention of them is no good here. But you have a chance. You have a chance. You can survive. You can live with your values. And those values of love. Be loving for each other. Be a good example for your family people. And in such a way that you pass on the heritage of love of Ahlul Bayt, like I said yesterday again in the hadith, which is Asasul Islam, which is the foundation of Islam, that should be protected and that should be passed on. Once they have this, then they will realize that the Shi'ism, what we call Shias, and the followers and Muhib are not just a sect. It is not a sect. It is a tradition of love which continues. And that love which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to exhibit for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his progeny. Salawatullahi alayhi wa ajma'in. Bar digar salawat. So, brother, I was talking about, and I'm just about to sum up now. We have to move to the events of Karbala. And it reminds me when I was talking about Arbab, I once again want to persuade you to understand it in a more sincere and serious way, because the people who we have made our Rabb, who we bow to, we are things, for example, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, salawat. I'm afraid my son Salman has a different kind of analyzer put in his mind when he thinks that I am going now down. I'll make sure that with your salawat, I'm not going to go down till the last moment, and I'll continue with that energy which I have to share with you, with this zikr of Imam. Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam was asked, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa alihi. Mawla yabna Rasulullah, why people get in love with these mortal things? Why they have, I have seen some of my family members, some other people, some youngsters, they're always falling in love with each other. They're going this way or that way. Then they start their own stories, and at that time, sometime emotionally they are not balanced. What is going on? So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam says, you know, to his Sahabi says, you know this happens when you empty your heart from the love of Allah. When it is empty, only then somebody else's love can get inside. Because you have to be watchful. Because that's why these ziyarat, these majalis, this thing, all those things giving you a chance to fill your heart with the love of Allah or the love of those who were loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I am also going to do a short zikr of a person who was a great person in Kufa. His mazar is today also a great, full of illumination, full of noor, and his name is Muslim ibn Aqil. You know, then from tomorrow onward we will be in Karbala. But Muslim is the beginning of Karbala. Muslim ibn Aqil, and he is at the time of Karbala. At the time, this is the Zilhijj of the year Hijrah 60 that he was sent, and Imam alayhi salatu wasalam sent him to Kufa and wrote a letter. He took that nama, his letter of Imam, authorizing him to be his representative. And he went to Kufa and he said, look, I am sending you one of the best young men. He was only 28 years of age. And this is what 4 years difference from Imam Hazrat Abbas Alamdar. He is only 4 years younger. And this is Hazrat Muslim ibn Aqil, alayhi salatu wassalam. Our salutations to him. When you go to Kufa, Masjid Kufa, next to Masjid Kufa, his mazar is there. So that's the same place where after the Shahada, his head was there. Some say for many months it was hanging there, and it was showing the power of Ibn Ziyad, who had killed him. So he was Batle Jaleel Islam. He was a great human, great Kamil insan, and subhanallah, who we can use as our wasila of bakshish, of intercession. So a Muslim was sent, and also the lessons to be learned here is also, as I am saying, brothers, don't be Shias as they were like there, some fake Shias. All people of Kufa were not the same. Some of them were fake, but some of them, quite a few of them, are also participants in Karbala and Shohada Karbala as well. But yes, most of them, how they behaved after Muslim came, we have reports from all Tawarikh, the histories written by different people, that almost 18,000 people gave bayah to him. They gave allegiance to him, and they said, we accept you as the ambassador of our Imam, and we are under the imamat of Imam Hussain, and we take oath for his imamat. So this is the oath of allegiance. And this was the day when he arrived. You have to also know, history is very cruel. Cruel facts that in Maghrib, 18,000 people were praying behind him. The Isha finished and he looked around, there were only 3 people left. 7,997 were gone. This is how many people left him. This is Muslim ibn Aqil, the ambassador of Imam Hussain to Kufa. And the first, all in the line of sacrifice, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam called him the first shaheed That's why we consider him the first Shaheed of Karbala. He died in Kufa, but like you also, or anyone else, dies any place, and if it is for the sake of message of Islam and Prophet Muhammad and Imam Hussein, then he is counted as Shaheed Karbala, among the Shuhada. And those three people also, Tariq, the history says, when he walked out of the masjid, he was a new person, he lost his way. Those three had also left him, they went different places, and he was wandering the streets of Kufa alone. And then you also see in every house, there are people who are on the side of right, and there are people with so close. I have been emphasizing, and I cannot emphasize more now, that look at that the fate of Hazrat Muslim, that a Muslim is becomes very thirsty after roaming so many miles in the city, hiding himself and trying to make sure that he reaches with the message of what is happening in Kufa. He passes on a message to Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Suddenly he is thirsty and he sits down close to a place, somebody's house. That old lady comes out and says, "Why are you sitting in front of my main gate, my entrance of my home? And who are you?" And the cousin of Imam Hussein says, he never said, "I am cousin of Imam Hussein." He said, "I am a Musafir." So she said, and her name in history, you know, Tawa. And Tawa asks him, "You tell me your name and your recognition and your introduction, otherwise leave this place. Please, the time is no good, you should leave this place." So he says, "I am Muslim bin Aqil." When he said that, then that was a different kind of a treatment. She started crying and she said, "Oh, you are the cousin of my Imam. You are the brother of Imam Hussein. You are the emissary and ambassador of Imam Hussein. Marhaba, marhaba." So she went and got some water and gave it to her. And then what is going on? And they talked a little bit. And then suddenly she was very happy. The reports say that she went and did the shukrana, nawafil for the shukrana and thanksgiving nawafil. And she was so happy that somebody from the Prophet's family is a guest. And she also asked him to come inside and rest. And he was there when his son, this is the woman who is with faith, with enlightened heart, with nur of muhabbat of Ahlul Bayt. But the son is a mal'oon. He is a cursed man. He comes in and he has the greed to encash the presence of Muslim bin Aqil, because the soldiers of what you call Ibn Ziyad are looking for him. So he quietly, when he came to know from his mother, he left and he went to Ibn Ziyad and told him that this is what you're looking for is resting and has taken refuge in my mom's home, so you can go and catch him. They surrounded, and it was not easy to catch him. You know why? You will be surprised. The history, which is mostly written by the enemies of Ahlul Bayt, they also say that when he was there, he went out and Tawa was asking him to stay inside. He said, "No, I have to leave you because my respected lady, I do not want to allow myself to stay here so that they can ruin your house and they can be disrespectful to you. Your love and heart for Ahlul Bayt is great and very much appreciated, but I don't want to put you in trouble." So he walked out, and then when he walked out, they say with all this difficulties and how difficult it was for him that night, when the people came to him, arrest him, he will take one person and will put him in the air like this. It will go like a ball, and then when it will come back, he'll put the sword under it, and the guy will be cut into two pieces. So this is just with one hand. He was such a great warrior, and he was the student of Hazrat Abbas alayhi salatu wasalam. So mashallah, this is Muslim, and Muslim, I just only at the end in the musibah, I want to mention and take sawab for you and for myself from Bibi Zahra and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. I want you to also remember he is the first shaheed, but what is the first riwaya or ritual or mansak which his shahada created? Maybe some of you are not aware. But my books which I have read have mentioned it clearly that Imam Muslim ibn Aqil, when he was arrested and there was a ditch was made and he fell down and he was captured, when he came to Ibn Ziyad's darbar in the court of Ibn Ziyad, and he was in the chains and he was brought, but he remained straight and came to him, and the Hakim says, look at the Hussainis, the first Hussaini who is showing that the Karbala has yet not taken place, but the Karbala has started. Yes, this is the beginning of Karbala. And he says, this is the mansab of Imam of the time. Says, Ibn Ziyad says, O Muslim, you have not said salam to your Amir. And Aqa, Mawla, Muslim ibn Aqil, everybody who is Mawla, attached with Mawla is our Mawla. So Mawla says, Mali Amirun Sival Hussain alayhi salam. There is nobody my Amir other than Hussain alayhi salam. So I only have pledged and to Imam Hussain. Imam Hussain is, who are you? He knows the death is very near. And the guy who is sitting there is very oppressive, very cruel man. He has not left a single lover of Imam Hussain and Ahlul Bayt alive. So this is what is happening, and he still says this. His words are written in the golden words. The words every place in history will say what he said, Mali Amirun Sival Hussain. There is no one who is my Amir other than Hussain. My Hakim, my Mawla, my leader is only Hussain. So they said, okay, I give you 2 minutes or 2 daqiqah. If you have any last wish, you can do that. Otherwise, you are now destined for death and I declare you dead now. So he orders the people to cut his head, and he says, Muslim, you are not asking for anything. You know why these people used to ask, my dear sisters and brothers, why they would ask for this kind of thing? They would give this time in the Arabic tradition that it was showing the so-called generosity, that even with that kind of a person who you are to kill, you give this chance. But this chance actually was for the ruler and oppressor to prove that we are giving you one more chance. Even if you ask for your life and you go on your knees and beg for your life, we may forgive you. But the people, the true Hussaini, the follower of Hussain, the ambassador of Hussain, our salutations to be Muslim ibn Aqil said, what he asked for, he said, if you are true to your offer, then give me 2 daqiqah so that I can quickly do 2 rakat namaz, 2 rakat of salat. That's all by rakatain. So that is what the Masoomin have told us, that those 2 rakats he did quickly, and because he wanted to make sure. Some people asked Imam why he did it so quickly, and he said because he was a brave man and he never thought that anybody would think that I was delaying the salat because I was afraid of death. So Imam Muslim ibn Aqil, then when he finished the salat and looks to me, if you look the history in sequence, that was Salatul Ziyarah, because immediately after that he raised his hand, pointed his finger to where his Imam was, towards Karbala, that is almost reaching Karbala, towards Imam, and he says, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. But that brought him the final message of death. Ibn Ziyad told his killers, what are you waiting for? He's done with salat. So he did not say salam to Ibn Ziyad, but at the end he said salam to, and we have reports that from Ahlul Bayt that when this happened, even though at that time the Muslim's family, his wife and his kids in the caravan of Hussain did not know nothing about his death, but at the same time the people heard, they reported that there was suddenly Imam was sitting with his enlightened ashab, and he said, Wa alayka salam jari. Oh my brother, be salam to you as well. So that is the time. We have the faith that when you said salam and you are on the path of Hussain, Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam remembers you and says, wa alayka salam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our prayers, our zikr, our majalis, and give us strength to be the true followers of Imam Hussain. In the name of Hazrat Muslim ibn Aqil, who made his master, his Imam, proud of himself. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala include us among the shuhada with Janab Muslim ibn Aqil and shuhada Karbala. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Subhanallahi walhamdulillahi wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. Allah la'natullahi ala al-qawmi az-zalimin. Saya'lamun allazina zalamu ayya munqalibin yanqalibun. Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain. Ya Hussain.
حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے. حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے. حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو سے آ رہی ہے. حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے. فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے. یہ خون ناحق چھپے گا کیوں کر, یہ خون ناحق چھپے گا کیوں کر, جسے یہ دنیا چھپا رہی ہے, جسے یہ دنیا. حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو, حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے, فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی. یہ صبر تیرا تیری عبادت, وہ یہ صبر تیرا تیری عبادت, قرآن حق میں تیری شہادت, قرآن حق میں تیری شہادت, تیری صداقت کی داستانیں, تیری صداقت کی داستانیں زمانے بھر کو سنا رہی ہے, زمانے بھر کو سنا رہی ہے. حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو, حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے, فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے. تمام عالم کو یہ دکھایا, کٹا کے گردن کو دی بچایا, کٹا کے گردن کو دی بچایا, مگر یہ امت ابھی بھی آلے, مگر یہ امت ابھی بھی آلے نبی کو دیکھو ستا رہی ہے, نبی کو دیکھو ستا رہی ہے. حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو, حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے, فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے. غریب مولا کی بے کسی پہ, غریب مولا کی بے بسی پہ, غریب مولا کی بے بسی پہ ابھی تلک وہ زمین کربل, ابھی تلک وہ زمین کربل لہو کے آنسو بہا رہی ہے, لہو کے آنسو بہا رہی ہے. حسین تیرے لہو فلک کے دامن جوان بیٹے کی لاش لے کر چلے ہیں مقتل سے سوئے خیمہ، چلے ہیں مقتل سے سوئے خیمہ، مگر ضعیفی قدم قدم پر، مگر اٹھا رہی ہے بٹھا رہی ہے، اٹھا رہی ہے بٹھا رہی ہے، حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو، حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے، فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے، بحر نصر ہے علی کی بیٹی مگر وہی عظمت محمد، مگر وہی عظمت محمد، وہ جس کی خاطر بھرا ہوا گھر، وہ جس کی خاطر بھرا ہوا گھر، لٹا کے کربل سے آ رہی ہے، لٹا کے کربل سے آ رہی ہے، حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو، حسین تیرے لہو کی خوشبو فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے، فلک کے دامن سے آ رہی ہے،
خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر پھر بھی نہ آیا، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر پھر بھی نہ آیا، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر پھر بھی نہ، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر پھر بھی نہ، روزے نبی پر سغرا نے جا کر دکھڑا سنایا، اکبر نہ آیا، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر پھر بھی نہ آیا، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر بابا کو میں نے خط میں لکھا ہے، اکبر بنا تو جینا سزا ہے، اکبر بنا تو جینا سزا ہے، دیکھا تھا جب سے دکھیا نے تب سے نہ چین پایا، اکبر نہ آیا، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر پھر بھی نہ آیا، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر آنکھوں میں آنسو لب پہ فغا ہے، بتلا دینا نا اکبر کہاں ہے، بتلا دینا نا اکبر کہاں ہے، شاہ مدینہ مشکل ہے جینا، غم نے ستایا اکبر نہ آیا، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر پھر بھی نہ آیا، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر لاکھوں امیدیں دل میں بسا کر بیٹھی ہوں اس کا صحرا بنا کر، بیٹھی ہوں اس کا صحرا بنا کر، شادی کا جس کی آنکھوں میں اپنی سپنا سجایا اکبر نہ آیا، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر پھر بھی نہ آیا، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر کربل میں دیکھی کائنات اجڑی، بھائی کی دیکھی بارات اجڑی، بھائی کی دیکھی بارات اجڑی، دیکھا ہے جب سے اس خواب نے ہے مجھ کو ڈرایا، اکبر نہ آیا، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر پھر بھی نہ آیا، خط بھی لکھا تھا قاصد بھی بھیجا، میرا ویر اکبر پھر بھی نہ آیا۔ حسین
محفوظ قافلہ ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، محفوظ قافلہ ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، محفوظ قافلہ ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، عباس جو زندہ ہے، محفوظ قافلہ ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، محفوظ قافلہ ہے۔ اس نوری کارواں میں نوری اماریاں ہیں، نوری اماریوں میں نوری سواریاں ہیں، نوری سواریاں ہیں، سر پر علم کھلا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، عباس جو زندہ ہے، محفوظ قافلہ ہے۔ نام محرموں کا مجمع ہٹ ہٹ کے ہے گزرتا، پہرے میں باوفا کے طے ہو رہا ہے رستہ، طے ہو رہا ہے رستہ، کیا شان و دبدبا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، عباس جو زندہ ہے، عباس جو زندہ ہے، محفوظ قافلہ ہے، عباس جیسا بھائی سالار کارواں ہے، بولے حسین مجھ کو پھر کوئی غم کہاں ہے، پھر کوئی غم کہاں ہے، ہر غم کی یہ دوا ہے عباس جو زندہ ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، ابھی دور کربلا ہے، عباس جو زندہ ہے، محفوظ قافلہ ہے، عباس جو زندہ ہے، زینب حیا کی ملکہ کلثوم اور رقیہ، لیلا رباب فروا کبرا سکینہ فضا، کبرا फिजा हर बीबी बारदा है, अब्बास जो जिंदा है, अभी दूर करबला है, अभी दूर करबला है, अभी दूर करबला है, अब्बास जो जिंदा है, महफूज काफिला है, अब्बास जो जिंदा है, अब्बास जो जिंदा है। या हुसैन
या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन। محرم هلاله حسين وجماله، اموت بغيابه اعيش بوصاله. محرم هلاله حسين وجماله، اموت بغيابه اعيش بوصاله. اجاني واجيته عمر ما نسيته، اجاني واجيته عمر ما نسيته. حسين وجماله الحسين وجماله. انا الكل عام لابس اسود وانعى، انا ابني الأربعين وليلتي الجمعة، انا ابني الأربعين وليلتي الجمعة. رجع عاشور بس حسين شي رجعه، رجع عاشور بس حسين شي رجعه. ثوابي وصار لعالقيعان متوزعه. تهيل يا هلال معناها تهيل دمعه، ابو التسعه لصابع بيده بس تسعه، ابو التسعه لصابع بيده بس تسعه. تجين بمصايب واجيك بمواكب، عشق بالطفوله وعشق وانا شايب. حفظت وقريته عمر ما نسيته، حفظت وقريته عمر ما نسيته. حسين وجماله الحسين وجماله. محرم هلاله الحسين وجماله، اموت بغيابه اعيش بوصاله. اجاني واجيته عمر ما نسيته، اجاني واجيته عمر ما نسيته. حسين وجماله الحسين وجماله. يا شهري الما يجيب الحزن منه، يا لي مطلع علي مفرع من الجنة. هلالك شفت والد من حني على ابنه، اللي يطيح حسين لازم يقضي حضنه. بعرج السام رمله الهلة ونه، برمادي الخيمة القلياس والحنة. يا شهر النياحة يا قلبي وجراحة، من الليلة تبدي وبعد ماكو راحة. يا شهر النياحة يا قلبي وجراحة، من الليلة تبدي وبعد ماكو راحة. عزائي بديته عمر ما نسيته، عزائي بديته عمر ما نسيته، حسين وجماله الحسين وجماله محرم هلاله، حسين وجماله اموت بغيابه اعيش بوصاله، محرم هلاله حسين وجماله اموت بغيابه اعيش بوصاله، اجاني واجيته عمر ما نسيته، اجاني واجيته عمر ما نسيته، حسين وجماله الحسين وجماله. يا حسين
عطروا أفواهكم بذكر محمد وآل محمد. ثانية غفر الله لكم. ثالث على حب محمد وآل محمد بأعلى أعلى أعلى أصواتكم. ما مقبولة هاي الصلوات. الرابعة على حب محمد وآل محمد بأعلى أصواتكم. أي اللهم صل ضعن الهواشم حياه طف كربلاء واديها، ضعن الهواشم حياه طف كربلاء واديها، ضعن الهواشم طف كربلاء، ضعن الهواشم ضعن طف كربلاء، ضعن الشرف والإيمان نور الإمام العنوان، والهيبة من الرحمن قاد المجد حاديها، طب كربلاء واديها، ضعن الهواشم حياه، ضعن الهواشم حياه طف كربلاء ديها، راعي الشرف والنوماس والنعم من العباس، راعي الشرف والنوماس والنعم من العباس، رايته ترفرف على الراس والزينبي باريها، طب كربلاء واديها، ضعن الهواشم حياه، ضعن الهوى طف كربلاء، راعي المجد راعي الزاد، راعي العالم راعي الجود، عالحرم ظل وممدود، نعم الويلي واليها، راعي المجد راعي الزاد، راعي العالم راعي الجود، ظل وممدود نعم الولي واليها طب كربلاء واديها ضعن الهواشم حي ضعن الهواشم ضعن طف كربلاء المحمل الحر يباري بروح الأخوة يراعي محمل الحر يراعي بروح الأخوة يراعي همة وشجاعتك فيه من حيدارة حاويها من حيدارة طب كربلاء واديها ضعن الواشم حي ضعن الهواشم ضعن طب كربلاء وشبول هاشم فرسان وشبول هاشم فراس جاسم والأكبر حراس ناشر لواها العباس حدود الخيم حاميها ناشر لواها العباس حدود الخيم حاميها طب كربلاء واديها ضعن الهواشم حي ضعن الهواشم طب كربلاء هل سلطانه من الكون والمملكة باسم حسين والمملكة باسم حسين والمملكة كربلاء عاصمة الدين من الأزل ومسجله من الأزل ومسجله طب كربلاء واديها ضعن الهواشم حي ضعن الهواشم ضعن وهالسلطنة أهل الدين سر جوهرها القدسية وهالسلطنة الدينية سر جوهرها القدسية بهالقاعدة الحربية في ظل ديما مثبتها بضد ديما مثبتها طف كربلاء واديها ضعن الهواشم ضعن كربلاء يوم حطر حالنا هنا يا هاشم نزلوها عيالنا كربلاء يوم حطر حالنا يا
هاشم نزلوها عيالنا. هذه كلمة ظهرت من بضعة علي، هذه كلمة ظهرت من بضعة علي، تصيح هذا الطف وصلنا يا هلي، تصيح هذا الطف وصلنا يا هلي. وين اخوتي وين شاف المحملي؟ ركزوا بهاي الارض عسلانها، ركزوا بهاي الارض، ركزوا بهاي الارض. نوخمتون الهوادج على الارض، نوخمتون الهوادج على الارض. هذه قاعلها ومصرعكم فرض، هذه قاعلها ومصرعكم فرض. صورة الاجيال منكم تنعرض، صورة الاجيال منكم تنعرض. وانتو يا هاشم فخر اجيالنا، وانتو يا هاشم فخر. كربلاء هذه يا هاشم يا نسور، كربلاء هذه يا هاشم يا نسور. محور العالم عليكم ظل يدور، محور العالم عليكم ظل يدور. الكم بهاي الارض تنزف نحور، الكم بهاي الارض تنزف نحور. وبشهادتكم تصير امالنا يا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم تقبل منا هذا القليل يا الله. اللهم اغفر وارحم وتجاوز عما تعلم، إنك أنت العزيز الأجل الأكرم يا الله. اللهم شاف مرضى المؤمنين والمؤمنات يا الله بحق الإمام زين العابدين يا الله. شافي وعافي هذا العبود يا الله وجميع مرضانا يا الله. اللهم اقضي حوائج المحتاجين، أد ديون المديونين. اللهم من كان على سفر اللهم ارجعه إلى أهله سالما غانما يا الله. يسر أموره. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم انكر في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا، حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم وهب لنا رأفته ورحمته ودعاءه وخيره يا الله. إلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات، أمواتنا وأمواتكم وأموات شيعة أمير المؤمنين. رحم الله من يقرأ الفاتحة مسبوقة بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. أحسن الله إليكم، أحسن الله إليكم، الله يحفظكم، الله يسر عليكم، الله يتقبل إن شاء الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين، إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، غير المغضوب عليهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نويت أن أزور سيدي ومولاي أبا عبد الله الحسين نيابة عن صاحب العصر والزمان، عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف، نيابة عن والدي ووالد والدي ومن أوصاني بالزيارة والدعاء. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله، السلام عليك يا وارث نوح النبي الله، السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله، السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله، السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله. السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا وارث علي أمير المؤمنين بالحق ولي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى. السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء. السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور. أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وأطعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. فلعن الله أمة قتلت ولعن الله أمة ظلمت ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأصلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة. لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مدلهمات ثيابها. وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين. وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الهادي المهدي. وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولده كلمة التقوى وعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا. وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله إني بكم مؤمن وبإيابكم موقن بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك وأناخت برحلك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم سويا. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، خصوصا سيدي ومولاي أبا الفضل العباس ابن أمير المؤمنين وسيدتي ومولاتي أم المصائب الحمراء زينب ورحمة الله وبركاته. لتعجيل فرج صاحب العصر والزمان، تيسير الأمور، قضاء الحوائج، لشفاء مرضاكم ومرضانا، وبالخصوص زلاق هادي العبودي وجميع شيعة أمير المؤمنين، وإلى أمواتكم وأمواتنا. ثواب سورة المباركة الفاتحة مسبوقة بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.